Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got a new firmware for the Flysky G7P and it's pretty much going to be a game changer for this transmitter. I've already been quite impressed with it. It's for the price, it had a lot of functions. Now it's got an awful lot of functions. One of the main ones, they are now releasing full gyro receivers for it, so stay tuned for instruction guide videos on that. You can now get it with the foam wheel, which really does make it much more usable, and the foam mount for it. But this new firmware update, adds ABS, which people have been asking for, and it's fully configurable ABS. So you can have it so it reacts only if you don't steer or only if you do steer. We've got RPM sensor support for wheel circumference, so you can have an RPM sensor measuring actual speed and distance. The full gyro receiver, and I believe there's a few others like idle up, engine cut, and also servo speed. So you can set your servo speeds for steering, throttle and brake. So let's get you over to PC and show you how the update goes. Right, so first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself your USB-C cable. It's got to be a high quality cable. If you get any errors doing this, it's usually down to cable, especially if you're trying to read your model memories or if it doesn't detect your device at all. But we're going to click on products. Once we're at Flysky's website, which is flysky-cn.com, you're going to click on Surface. Once we're on there, you're going to click on FS-G7P. Then we're going to come across to Downloads and Upgrades. You've got the full user manual. You've got the full changelog, which will tell you everything that's changed in the actual device. So if you download this, we can scroll down and have a look. So new functions, we've got ABS braking, we've got idle up, engine cut, add channel speed, backlight control, screen time, failsafe tips, RPM sensor. So it looks like you'll be able to set that to be a RPM sensor working as a speed readout. Different model modes for your latency, so you can have one with less interference and one with lower latency. Added a pop-up prompt for low voltage and ultra low voltage. The ability to set the BVD voltage and signal strength on the main interface, and we can also calibrate the VR1 dial. Revised display of sensor and main interface. And fixed known bug, conflict between switch 2 and TR1 in assignment, and it is telling you to back up your model memories using Flysky Assistant and then do a calibration after the firmware update is completed. So if we go down to this one, you can download the actual firmware and run the firmware, or you can download Flysky Assistant. So I'm going to take you through doing it on Flysky Assistant. So once you've got Flysky Assistant installed, I've done videos on registering this and how to set it up and how to install it. But basically, you want to plug in your G7P, then it'll be detected. We're going to go to this menu, we're going to go Export, and then you're going to tell it to load your TX models. So this is as models we've currently got. You can choose to back up all or just back up some. I'm just going to back up all because it's easier. So you click export, then we've got to choose somewhere for this to live. So I've created an Assistant V3 folder and then a G7P. So basically what I like to do is just date it, so we can call it G7P and then 1/1/23. and this is going to save all those memories for us. Once you've got them saved, you can go to update page. Now what we're going to have to do, I'll see if I can get you a little video of this. So what you're going to want to do on the actual radio itself, you're going to want to power it up, have it connected, go into menu, select firmware update, flash you to confirm it, then you'll say updating. Then what we can do on the PC itself, should be able to go into firmware update. We've already backed up, and this is about as far as we're going to be able to get because they don't have any firmware for it. Looks like we're downloading the firmware updater. So seems though assistant's not going to work for us because Flysky haven't updated it yet. We're going to download the 1.0.28 firmware. Once that's downloaded, you can just click on it and you'll get this screen. So again, what we'll need to do is go into his menu on his G7P, have it connected to PC and powered up, go into firmware update, press OK. Then it'll run through, your G7P will reboot, and that's reset the models. So we've got it on latest firmware. Now we need to relaunch our Flysky Assistant. So once his assistant software is open again, basically if we click on this and then import, load TX, go back to our desktop, and Assistant V3, then as latest backup. If we open that, that'll show us what's in as backup. We can click import, then we can select them all, add, and OK, and this should write our memories back to our G7P. So that's loaded our model memories back to his G7P, and we should now have all the new options, and I'll do a separate video on what these options are, but just a few things change. When you press down on the controller now, you get different menus. Rather than the sensor panel, when you press up, you get to the channel monitoring. So just remember, once you've updated firmware, go to calibration, click start, and then we're going to turn wheel full calibration, turn the dials through full calibration. You've got the little VR2 down on the side, so you just need to move that through its full travel, and then just throttle and brake. And then once you're back out of it, calibration successful. So we now have an updated G7P, and I will be doing follow-up videos on any new features and anything that's changed on it basically, but let's wrap this one up. Right, so there you have it. Hopefully that's easy enough to follow. Not sure if the firmware will be getting added to Flysky Assistant, or you may also notice how responsive the version of Flysky Assistant is that I've currently using. That's a test version, so that may be why it's not showing up on there. But you can just download the firmware update file and do it that way, and it works perfect. Far more options now on this G7P. It really makes it an interesting transmitter. and a very good option for pretty much most cars. Not sure if I'd recommend this if you're really into racing. I'd still go with the MB4 or even the Pro. They're much better suited to racing. But with the option you've got on this now, I would certainly consider it if you wanted to get into racing, sort of the Tamiya TT02 class. Any of the slower speed stock motor classes, you'd probably get away with it on that. It's going to be fast enough and it's responsive enough. Does run for ages on batteries, but you can just pop in a life pack in the bottom. There's a JST plug. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family. I'll catch you guys again in the next one.